Hey everybody, this is Jesse here at Jesse Lee Strength and Fitness. Merry Christmas. This is just after Christmas and I kind of recapping this past week. It's been a busy week, of course, with holidays and things going on. So I just wanted to recap this past week's workouts. This is week number 11 and this is going to be recapping my strength training. Things are looking a little bit different. I had just a little bit of a flare up in my right hip and kind of determining exactly what that is. This is not a new kind of issue. I've dealt with some right-sided hip impingement, some kind of adductor groin strains, and this goes back, 10 to 15 years, honestly, from playing ultimate frisbee. Um, and so I've kind of gone a little bit just doing some of the assessment work that I learned with Dr. Rob, as well as kind of reading and watching Aaron Horschig from Squat University, kind of integrating in a little bit more of some assessments so I can understand exactly what's going on from hip to hip, and kind of determining that the right hip is largely kind of it's slightly impinged, lacking a little bit of internal and external rotation, mostly external rotation. And then the left hip being just a little less neurologically online, lacking a little bit more lateral stability and a little bit more single leg extension stability. And so basically trying to formulate a warm up that kind of covers those bases. So this workout that I'm going to explain, the warm up wasn't quite right, and my squat really suffered. I decided to just drop it back to 135, and I worked on just some positions that I thought I could get into a comfortable position in my squat. It didn't really work all that great. This was back on, I think, Monday, and today is Friday. So I kind of toyed with some low bar positioning and some high bar positioning, and just worked on some different kinds of mobility warm-ups. I think over the week I figured out what I needed to do, and I made some adjustments using bands for some centration and some activation on this right hip, and then doing some dynamic neural stabilization on the left to kind of get things fired up. I feel like I'm getting pretty close, as well as doing some single leg activation stuff, both standing with like hip aeroplanes and some things. I know that sounds a little bit kind of wild, but I'm really chasing down the ability to be able to squat pain free. And I was kind of there. And then I think I had a little bit of a flare up in this right hip. So I'm working on that. Obviously the body does keep score. I broke my right foot as a kid, and I've had some injuries in this right hip over my lifespan. And being 47 and trying to work on squatting heavy, I run into some barriers periodically. But I think if I take the right attitude, I can try to have it teach me something rather than getting frustrated. And so, although I have been frustrated, I'm really just trying to be open with curious minds so I can learn, and continue to see what this is teaching me. I think the barbell definitely is a great teacher, on how you're moving. If it hurts, you're probably not moving all that well. So what I did was I just did, I think, 5 sets at 135, just tried different positions. Honestly, it didn't go all that great. The first set was probably the best. I had really nice balanced hips. What I've been doing is I've been squatting into one hip, because of some lack of some strength in one side and some mobility in the other. So yeah, it's not ideal, but I'm getting a lot of information from it. And then I just decided to do a little upper body circuit after that. I did some body weight chin-ups, and I really worked on getting to a full hang, a stop, and then a pull. And I did 8-6-4 there, and then I did 45-pound dumbbells, and I just kind of went for max. So I went 18, 16, 14 there. So getting some volume. And that was a fun workout. The squatting was definitely a bit frustrating, but as I said, really just trying to continue to learn and see what my hips have to teach me. And it's going to help me become a better trainer, a better coach, as well as a better squatter in the end. Whether or not, being 6'4" and having long femurs and trying to get this squat right, and having some hip injuries, it just could be that the back squat is not my tool. However, I'm going to continue to try, and I may end up just focusing on single leg work, which really tends to agree with me better. It feels more athletic. But I'm here to learn and I'm here to grow. So hope you are too.